Aki here, and welcome back to another edition of 60 Super Bowls in 60 Days. We are currently at Super Bowl 3, and I believe this is the most important Super Bowl of basically any Super Bowl we have before and since. Now, let me tell you the little context before we get to the Super Bowl. The NFL has been dominated, and I mean dominated the AFL for so many years. And right now, the NFL is currently like won the last two Super Bowls against both the Chiefs and the Raiders, and everybody was thinking the NFL is superior to the AFL. And then we got the Super Bowl between the Jets from the AFL and the Colts from the NFL. And it was a massive, massive big deal at the time. And one player in particular decided that, you know what, it is time for me to put my money where my mouth is. Joe Namath, one of the most handsomest, most brilliant quarterbacks in Jets football history, and that's just saying something, to be honest. With the Jets are, I don't know, missing the playoffs for like, I don't know, the 13th straight year in their existence. It's been rough there. So Joe Namath, or Broadway Joe as many people, decided he went to a hotel, gave a little interview to reporters, and he said that he is going to win the Super Bowl and he's going to guarantee it. Yeah, this was the guaranteed Super Bowl. And brutally honestly, his performance has not been great. 17 of 28 for 206 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. He was named the MVP. And the Jets won this thing 16-7 in a massive, and I mean a massive upset against a heavily favored Colts, who were just dominated, including beating the Browns in the NFL championship game. The NFL championship game. Yep, the NFL championship game just way back. So, we got a couple of stats, and then we'll tell you why this was a significant Super Bowl, because everybody knows that it was a significant Super Bowl. But Joe Namath was the MVP for that one. 17 to 28 for 206 yards, no touchdowns, but most importantly, no interceptions, which is pretty good because Joe Namath is a good quarterback, but known to throw the little interceptions here or there. Earl Morrall, not a legendary quarterback for the Baltimore Colts. Yes, the Baltimore Colts, not the Indy Colts. That was way later, but it's now the Baltimore Colts. 6 of 17 for 71 yards, 3 picks. You are not going to win a football game with 3 picks. And then off the bench come John Unitas, a really, really good quarterback at the time for the Colts. One of the most brilliant Hall of Fame quarterbacks you will ever seen. Unfortunately, he did not help this team. 11 of 24, 110 yards and an interception. So while he did better than Errol Morrall, he did not help the Colts actually win the whole thing. And that's because, in terms of turnovers, 5 turnovers to 1. Like 4 interceptions, a fumble loss, that's not going to win you games. If you get a -4 turnover differential in a Super Bowl game, you better pack it up and leave. You cannot win any Super Bowls in any time. And the kicking game was not great for the Colts as well. Lou Michaels went 0 for 2 on field goals. And yes, I did not put extra points because extra points were kind of automatic back then. It was like kicking into like the 2 yard line, and the goalpost is kind of like closer, of course. They did not move the goalpost, of course, until like way back a couple of years ago. So, like kicking PATs is kind of automatic, almost automatic, of course. But you can say that PAT is like 98% conversion rate. So that's why I put field goals as the most important. The 3 points are most important. And Lou Michaels missed 0 for 2. And despite only one touchdown by the Jets, courtesy of Matt Snell, who rushed for 30 times for 121 yards at 4.03 rushes per carry and only 1 touchdowns. Jim Turner was a huge difference with 3 field goals out of 5. He missed 2, of course, but he contributed to like 10 points. And if you look at the score, that's a huge difference in a game like this. Look at that difference. He contributed 10 points. That's a huge difference in that game. Tom Matty from the Baltimore Colts was the most significant of the rushers. 11 of 116 yards, 10.55 rushes per carry. And then Jerry Hill for the Colts, 9 of 29 for 3.22 yards per carry and a touchdown. For the receivers, George Sawyer from the Jets, 8 receptions for 133 yards and 16.62 average yards. And Willie Richardson from the Colts, 6 receptions for 58 yards and a 9.67 averages per carry. And the total yards were pretty much in favor of the Jets, 337 to 324. So you're asking yourself, Hakeem, why the Super Bowl is important? Because if you notice the date, this was taking place on January 12th, 1969, in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Exactly 1 year later, the commissioner of the NFL, Pete Rozelle, decided to merge the AFL with the NFL and become the current iteration of the NFL. And that's why we have the AFC and the NFC that we have here today. And I think this is the most important Super Bowl of all time because without this incredible upset, we're not getting the Super Bowl that we all know today. We're not going to get in the halftime shows. We're not getting the incredible pageantry that is the Super Bowl. Without any of it, the NFL would never even exist. It would be like still in the AFL and NFL rules, and God knows what will happen. We'll have like two different commissioners or something. So while this game does not like do anything in the grand scheme of things, this is the Jets' one and only Super Bowl, by the way. I'm just gonna put that figure out. While this does not, make the Jets any superior team, even they're in purgatory, to be honest. That Jets victory was huge for Joe Namath, who delivered on his promise to give the Jets a Super Bowl, and he did. But also for the NFL in like a year later with the whole merger going in, and that produced the Super Bowl that we all know today. So this was a legendary Super Bowl, and I hope you can find the time to watch it, even though it's not the greatest game, of course. Although the following next Super Bowl will be an eyesore for me. This will be the first of many eyesores, but this is probably not one of them. Not the great quality game in terms of offense and all kind of stuff, but the importance of that game, the signature victory, and of course the Joe Namath walking into the field to the sunset, wagging his finger up, was so iconic. It was so iconic, of course. And that concludes this version of Super Bowl 3. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe to all this thing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for Super Bowl 4.